So next we're going to look at how we can make graphs for quantitative data. So there are several quantitative variables in this data set. We've got number of games played, the at-bats, and the number of runs. Unfortunately, Google Sheets doesn't do a really great job of graphing these. I would prefer to use Desmos for these graphs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into Desmos. And the first thing when I do, since I'm working on an assignment and I want to make sure it's saved, I want to always make sure to sign in using Google. And then once I do that, I want to name this. So graphs for Washington Nationals. And that way, if I leave, I can come back and find it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the data. So I'm interested in making a graph for games played. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and then I'm going to click in this first one and do Control V. The first thing I want to do is I want to assign this a variable. So let's call this A. So there are 11 numbers in A. That's what it means right here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find the mean. So in Desmos, it's pretty easy. You just type in the word mean. So the average is 105.363636364. So notice they rounded it. So if I added all of these up and divided by 11, this is the value. To find the median, I do the same thing. Median and then A. Desmos does not find the mode, and it doesn't find the range. So what you have to do is we know that the range is the maximum minus the minimum, and there's the range. But we actually came here to graph this, so I'm going to put these away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a folder. What is this called? This is called Games Played. So I made a folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag each one into the folder. Okay, and now I'm going to hide it. All right, so all the statistics I just calculated are here. All right, in the next line, I want to make my graph. So I go over to the keypad, and I'm going over to where it says functions and distributions. So you can see there are three types of graphs we can make. We can make a histogram, a dot plot, and a box plot. We're going to focus on this histogram and a dot plot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on histogram, and I want to make a histogram for the data in A. So when I do that, notice I don't see anything here on Desmos. But over here in the corner, there's a little plus sign with a magnifying glass. That fits our data. So this is a really strange looking graph. And that's because if you look here, it says the bin width is A. But we saw earlier that the range is 127. So if I have 11 numbers and 127, 11 numbers, 127 divided by 11, I'm going to refocus it. This is what my histogram looks like. So it's a pretty nice histogram. You can see that if I zoom in a little bit, we have one person that falls in this range of values. Two of the Washington Nationals fall within this range of values. One Washington National is this, and here, one Nationals in here, one National here. Oh my gosh, we have so many Nationals that had this many at-bats. So that's how you can make a histogram. To actually copy and paste this, we would have to use our print screen tool in our applications folder, and we could cut it and paste it into a document. I want to turn this off. So the way I turn this off is I touch this button over here, and this time I'm going to go back to distributions, and I'm going to click dot plot. I want to make a dot plot of our data in A, and I want to get a good fit, so that's what it looks like. If I want to turn this off, I can just click over here. If I want to turn it back on, I click back over here. If I want to do the same thing for a different variable. So I want to put these all. Okay. So let's say I want to do the same thing for at bats. So this time I'm going to copy, Control C, and paste at bats. And I'm going to call this B. So I want to know what's the average at bats? What is the median at bats? What is the range of the at bats? And that's a lot. So I'm going to make another. And I'm just going to drag these in to make it organized. All right, so let's make a graph for these functions. Let's make a histogram first. So I'm making a histogram for B. What was the range? The range this time was 511. So the bins are going to be 511 divided by 11. And I'm going to zoom to fit. All right, so there's our histogram. Next, I want to do the same thing, but I want to make a dot plot. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to make a dot plot of B. Let's zoom to fit. All right, so those are the two types of graphs that we're going to be focusing on when we're looking at quantitative data.